What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So I'm not even gonna lie. Definitely been a busy day. I literally was supposed to drop another video. I definitely apologize. There will be more drop tomorrow. Sorry. Tomorrow. So make sure y'all just stay tuned. It was a lot and truly busy when it came. Today, just actually found out that, and it's pretty exciting news seeing y'all know that I've been going through, anxiety and like getting out more and stuff like that. But, I wanted to do something, differently that I haven't done before. I'm always, I grew up playing basketball and I'm officially, head coach of, a fifth and sixth grade, basketball team, as well as Retro Steph. If y'all know what Retro Steph is, he's coaching, boys, third and fourth grade, I believe. So one thing, to keep us busy, obviously we love to give back to the community and stuff like that. So there will be days that, be challenging, when it comes to practice and games and stuff like that. So just bear with me. One thing about it though, is that I'm definitely happy, when it comes to a lot of these things, within it. So, just bear with me, y'all. Definitely amazing. I do want to say that when it comes to a lot of things, I know there's a lot, that's going on within a lot of these influencers, people on social media. One thing about it is that one thing that we only can do, is keep pushing through, when it comes down to a lot, with mental, especially with mental health. But you already know, this is a post through, from the White House. Says President Trump, my goal is to stop crime in America. Governor Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Johnson, as y'all can see. One thing, and I truly, notice and see all the time that it's truly crazy to me that it's like that's their reaction all the time. When President Trump is trying to do something, right, and trying to clean up, these areas, and they're going against it, which is pretty crazy. Not even gonna lie. This is posted by Benny Johnson. Meet Lawrence Reed. He is facing, obviously, terrorism charges after setting a 20. And the crazy thing is, this is absolutely crazy, And I wanted to look at this in particular and something else, because it just goes to show you that so many things are going on in Chicago, and they're not doing much about it. But this 26-year-old woman on fire on board a Chicago train. According to reports, he doused her in gasoline, igniting, and saying, something I obviously can't say on here. Pretty sure I'm going to show you in a news clip, though. But it says Reed has been arrested 49 times. 49, literally 49. 10 of them being felonies. And yet judges kept putting him back on the streets. They failed to protect the public, and they failed that young woman. And truly did. I'm not even gonna lie, truly did. Said this tragedy was preventable, and the judges who enabled it should be held accountable. And I definitely feel as if they definitely should be held accountable for a lot of this. It's definitely sad. This right here just goes to show you. It goes to show you right here all the times. Wow. This literally just goes to show you. I don't know why his face is like this, though. Like, why something that happened to his mouth or something, I believe. I don't know what happened. But this is definitely insane to me. Definitely insane. Definitely sad. I'm not even gonna lie. This post, though, says a woman, obviously, this happened. It said, meanwhile, J.B. Pritzker says his state is safe and he doesn't need the National Guard. Check it out.
It all happened just before 9:30 last night on that Blue Line train. Chicago police tell us a 26-year-old woman got into an argument with a man that police believe is 45 years old. That argument turned physical, and at some point he threw liquid onto that woman and set her on fire. The train ended up stopping at Clark and Lake. The man took off running. Now, she was able to make it out of the train, but then she collapsed. Police say the fire was put out before the fire department got there. She was rushed here to Stroger in critical condition.
And it saddens me that stuff like this has happened, especially the ones that's calling to defund the police and say this and say that, but the same ones that are literally guarded and protected by those same police officers. And I just find it completely insane. I truly do. Check it out, Fox News, y'all.
What I can say is that as awful and as horrific as this tragedy is, this is as an isolated incident. Wow. As we continue to invest more in our public transportation system, we want people to feel safe as they ride. And so many working people rely upon our public transportation system across the city, and that's why I'm doing my part to ensure that these investments are getting right to the people so that, of course, people can continue to enjoy.
I'm just saying, like, how can people literally enjoy? Like, how can people enjoy and just seeing how bad things are? Not to mention, obviously, you have President Trump, a lot of things. And I'm going to say this, and it's not going to sound, as good, a little bit. But, you have President Trump, that obviously has brought, the crime down a little bit. But you're still having incidents and stuff like this that I just find completely crazy and very, very much so unnecessary, especially with having a mayor saying things like this. I don't get it, calling it, an isolated incident, says everyone knows how horrible Chicago is. Definitely. It truly is horrible. And it's definitely sickening. Definitely sickening. Check it out.
She was on the ground trying to put herself out and is rolling on the ground. No one came to her aid until she was able to get off the train and to the platform.
When Reed was arrested, police say he blurted out, "Burn, expletive, burn alive, expletive." Records show Reed has been arrested more than 4 times since 1993.
Wow.
9 times the charges were felonies, yet he has only served 2 years for a drug case, 30 days for driving on a suspended license.
Lawrence Reed had no business being on the streets, and as a result, you have an innocent victim in the hospital fighting for her life.
In August, he was charged with aggravated battery for knocking out a social worker at McNeil Hospital in Portland, Illinois. The petition for pretrial detention states that Reed is a real and present threat to the safety of any person or persons in the community. Still, Judge Teresa Molina-Gonzalez denied pretrial detention and ordered electronic monitoring with the condition that Reed could go free from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. The only restriction was that he could not go back to the hospital. Chicago's mayor says the attack does not signal a wider trend.
As awful and as horrific as this tragedy is,
we already seen that this, you have morons like this. I truly don't get it. Obviously, if you have a person that does things, when it comes to, attacking people, doing this and doing that, what do you think they're going to do? I mean, you've let them out over 48 times. You obviously know, especially after that second, third time, like that's, you see that it's repeating. It's repeating itself, but 48 times, y'all. I mean, that you definitely need to do something. But then you have Mayor Brandon Johnson that's not doing anything about this, calling it an isolated incident. I'm telling y'all, bro, it's absolutely disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting to me. Now, I truly don't get it. This is something that's just not, oh, well, this just happened this one time. This happens so many times, when it comes down to Chicago. So many times. I'm not even gonna lie. This again, this is an individual that, and this is definitely something that's definitely sad, again. This is, pretty sure Korshanda, Hatter, I don't really know how to pronounce her name. 33-year-old Chicago mom and her 9-year-old son were taken to the Trinity Hospital in a serious condition after this attack. The mother explained that the gang of kids were waiting along the sidewalk to jump them. I asked my kids to come to the next side of the street with me so they wouldn't get jumped. She added that her attackers followed them. And as y'all can see it right here, this picture. I don't want to play the video. I think y'all can see the picture. So y'all can see where we at right now. She added that her attackers followed them all the way home and first attacked her son before she was dragged in the grass. Hatter said that her son had been bullied for more than 2 years and the school failed to protect him. I'm trying to get justice for my son, she said. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson also condemned the attack basically saying, I was deeply disturbed to see the video of the young people attacking a mother and her child on the far south side yesterday afternoon. That type of behavior is unacceptable in our city. We must not normalize this type of senseless violence. Leaders from my office have been on the ground all day to coordinate with CPS, CPD, and CHA to respond to this incident. One thing about this is that you literally have individuals. You're literally having individuals that, especially, you know, when it comes to Mayor Brandon Johnson, that's not actually out there and setting no type of example whatsoever. He doesn't care about the people whatsoever. No matter, and this is something that I'll definitely say about anybody. No matter the color of your skin, you know, who you are, male or female, the elderly, anybody. When it comes to this stuff needs definitely to be handled, you know, when it comes to a lot of these things. I don't know the full story within this, but I do know that when you're having a mayor like this, things definitely need changed, you know. I truly don't get it. I don't get it, just for the simple fact that you have a mayor that's basically wanting to not want the National Guard there, not want, you know, these agents there, not want, you know, to change around and to keep that violence down. I don't understand it whatsoever. This is a post by Danielle Carter. It says, this is why Chicago's mayor said crime is down. Him and his black wife and kids are being protected by his police detail, while us Chicago citizens are being victimized by, again, illegals, carjackings, shootings, and robbery. He believed criminals are just misunderstood and shouldn't be locked up. He also wants to defund the police. So as y'all can see,
this is why this man say crime is down.
This is right here. Y'all have, you know, him being protected by a large security detail, along with, you know, the Chicago Police Department. And it's definitely sad, you know, that you have this individual that's heavily guarded, you know, and there's people that are literally having everything, you know, given. And one thing about it that I definitely can say, you know, and I say this a lot, is that even though, you know, you see people in the comments say, oh, well, this is who they voted for, there are people that, you know, didn't vote for him. You know, as y'all can see, I know Danielle Carter most likely didn't, you know, vote for him and don't like him. You know, and there's others that, you know, obviously didn't. You know, but one thing that I am glad is that, you know, within Danielle Carter, you know, her team and others are doing a lot that they can, you know, to show others, you know, obviously them being residents in Chicago, show others, you know, what he's about and what's going on. You know, I definitely feel like it's definitely important, you know, for other people to see, because people tend to see those good things. That's what people fail to realize. People tend to see those good things when they see it on social media, or they see Mayor Brandon Johnson say this and they, oh yeah, I support him because he's black and he's real and he's this, he's that. No, he's not. You know, you literally have residents in Chicago that are literally showing y'all for who he is. One thing about it though, that I've said, you know, at the beginning of this video, is that shootings, homicides, robberies, carjackings, and transit crime have been going down ever since, you know, President Trump has done, you know, and put those resources in the city. Check it out.
DHS putting a fine point on that, putting out some more numbers saying those shootings are down to their lowest in 4 years. Homicides down 16%, and transit crime is down 20% among the other numbers going down. Now, this update includes a list the DHS calls some of the most violent criminal illegal aliens in Chicago, which include Victor Orozco, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico convicted of first-degree. This announcement comes weeks of chaotic protests and DHS.
One thing about it, though, that I can definitely say is that I'm actually glad, you know, even though, and I'm glad that, you know, things are going down, but at the same time, we have to look at it's still pretty bad, you know, when it comes to Chicago, and it's not all the way there. It is a start. I definitely say it is definitely a start. But one thing about it is that, you know, there's a lot of crime still going on. As y'all can see, that just happened, you know, within that train station. That just happened with that, you know, with the kids attacking. You know, a lot of those things, they're still happening, And I feel as if those resources need to be pushed more and more, you know, when it comes to National Guard. I definitely support that. This is a post by President Trump. Says, I am proud to announce that Chicago, Illinois, despite all the radical opposition and obstruction we have from the mayor and the governor, has seen car theft, shootings, robberies, violent crime, and everything else drop dramatically. Again, this is something that, you know, you have to start somewhere. It doesn't happen overnight. And I feel as if when it comes to J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, they need to listen, you know, because they're obviously seeing what President Trump has done, not only in Chicago. Since the launch of the DHS Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago only weeks ago, shootings are down 35%, robberies are down 41%, carjackings are down almost 50%. And this is with just a small initial federal force, not the full surge we have done in Chicago and in Memphis. See? As we ramp up more assets, these numbers will continue to drop. This has been achieved despite the extraordinary resistance from Chicago and Illinois radical Democrat leadership and the constant violent left-wing terrorism against ICE officers and federal agents, and that insurrectionist Democrat officials refuse to stop and prosecute, including constant physical assault and attempted assassination. So one thing about it is that, and I say it again, it's something that is a start. We know that Chicago is definitely, you know, pretty bad. One thing about it is that I definitely support, you know, whatever President Trump, you know, is wanting to do more, you know, to bring a lot of that crime down. I definitely feel like it is necessary, and it needs to happen in other cities as well. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely let me know y'all comments, thoughts on this video. Catch y'all next one.